What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be replacing some brake pads on the Jeep. We got most of the Jeep finished with the wrap. Let me hit the light real quick. Alright, so in the last video we got most of the Jeep wrapped up, and we're just waiting on a little bit more wrap to come so I can finish the this part right here. Although there we go. Although I do have a little bit of wrap left over, but I still have to do the doors, and you know, there's a couple of things I want to rewrap these, the grill potentially, and so anyways, I had to just make a decision, and that's what I chose to do. Alright guys, I intend this to be a pretty quick video, but I just wanted to let you guys know, on the YJ here, I was noticing every now and then a little squeaking noise when I would do certain movements with the Jeep turning and such, but it wasn't squeaking all the time, and it wasn't squeaking that bad, but enough to be annoying. And I also noticed that the steering was a little loose. I thought it may have been like the tie rods or drag link or something, but it wasn't. So I finally jacked up. It was coming from this side, it felt like, or it sounded like. So I jacked up the Jeep, and I'll show you what I found. Look at this. That is not supposed to do that. So that bearing in there is shot, and I don't know why it hasn't been making more noise. I'm guessing the brake caliper was just holding it, but under certain situations it would wiggle a lot. So that right there is not good. So we're gonna address this. We're gonna take this spacer off and take the rotor off. Then we can see exactly what we gotta do. So I've actually never taken one of these apart, but you can see here the metal shavings, and this thing is just shot. So what you have to do is there's 3 bolts on the back here that we have to take out, and then this will come right out, and we'll have to take this off as well, and then this whole outer hub unit should pop out. So what that means though is we need to grab some PB Blaster and get this thing oiled up so we're not breaking stuff. But once you do that, get some on there. Oops, some right there, some right here, all over this puppy. And we might even use some heat depending on how hard this is to get out. We may be grabbing a torch and heating these bolts up. In fact, we might do that anyways, but don't forget these here. This has been a very long time since it's been apart, but yeah, that is a big problem. So I'm glad it was this instead of a noise coming from something else, but this is definitely an issue. Okay, so taking this off, you've got a cotter pin right here. See if I can do this. So for those who don't know how, I'm assuming you don't know how to do this. If you looked up the title of this video. So you straightened out the cotter pin, you'll grab it from this other end down here. Alright. Oh man, that is some tight stuff. Okay, let me put the camera down. I need 2 hands. I'm hoping you guys can see this, but if you can't, apologize. You might have to grab a little, let's see. That just works out bad because wow. Busted my needle nose. Well, that's one way to do it. So these are pretty rusted on here. Typically they're not going to be this difficult. They normally you just twist them out and untwist them and just pull them right out. But of course, when you go to do a video, so if I can just break them off at least. There we go. Alright, so pull it out however you got to do. The main point is you got to get the cotter pins out. Go ahead and keep this because I don't know if the new one comes with it. Then that leaves us here with a hub bolt, which, see if I have the right size. I hope this is the right size. Perfect. All right. So this is a 36mm hub bolt. I'm just curious to see if it'll tighten up. No. Now, if you don't have an impact, these can be tough. An impact, you know, is the way to get these off, really, because this is going to want to spin. So if you don't have an impact, you're gonna have to like use a pry bar in here, wedge it in between the spokes here, and then pry against it with a pry bar. But that worked just fine. So now that we got that off, Milwaukee Impact, this Fuel M18 is a beast, let me tell you. So as far as the socket for the rear side of this, it is a 13mm and it's a 12-sided socket. So that is what you will need. And what I like to do, I will hook this in here like that, right like that, and then I will grab my hammer and bang this thing loose. I find that it works pretty good that way. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can see that. Right like that. Didn't even have to use heat, guys. Bolt number 1. Now, when I put this back in, I am gonna use some, what is it called? Anti-seize. There it goes. The hammer, using the hammer just takes away, like helps with that initial like breakup, because these bolts haven't come off in a while, and as you guys know, if you've been following the channel, I'm getting ready to do a 1-ton axle swap, but this is kind of like a problem, so I'm going with the cheapest hub assembly out there. I don't need a fancy, nice one, because it will be getting replaced. And of course, there always has to be that one that is a problem. And it would be this one right here. It looks like it's been stripped out before. So yeah. Not fun, because now I've got to figure out a way to get it. I think what I'll do is I will turn the front wheels so I have a little better angle. Alright, so turning the wheels just gives me a little better angle to reach this bolt. And as you can see, it is indeed slipping on the threads. So sometimes you gotta get creative. Just to recap and show you guys what I had to do. This was stripped out, and I knew I wasn't gonna reuse this bolt again. So there was a couple different options: either cut it off or try to find another way to take it out. But I'm not gonna reuse this bolt, so I was like, why take it, or why cut it off? I mean, why try to save it? So I just cut into the actual hub itself, because I am done with this. And then I'll just use my sledgehammer there we go. Nice. And there you have it. The little stinker that gave up the ghost. So, I already have one ordered at Napa down the road, so I'm going to go pick that up. see if they have a bolt, hopefully. And then we can go from there. Guys, just got back and here we go. It took me a minute to find these. This was the only place in town that had them, but they sold them in bunches of 3 because there's 3, but I'm just only going to use one and we'll reuse the other one. I am going to put on anti-seize. I recommend anytime you have a component that could seize up, rust, it'd be hard to remove, anti-seize will save your bacon. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this back installed. Alright, so next step, we want to remember it's important to put this washer back on here. That goes on. Then we've got our nut here. As you know, going to stick just a little bit of anti-seize on there. And we'll zip this puppy back on. There we go. That is back on there, nice and tight. Then we had this on here. And then this was on here, like that. And I have my own set of cotter pins. If you don't have some, this does not come with them. So you'll probably have to get cotter pin. Alright, I'm gonna need 2 hands for this, but it's got like this little spring washer in there. Go like that. Spin this puppy. The point of this is just so it does not come off, and that's not coming off. So. So the other day I bought new brake pads for this, and I replaced the brake pads on the passenger side because those ones were completely worn down. So I'm going to go ahead and replace them on this side. As you can see, they still had life left in them, a lot of life left in them. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead, since I have them and we're already in here, this is super easy to replace these. I'll show you how to put them in. They are side specific because you've got these little notches that will sit in like this. If you see that little notch, it's gonna sit in, so that's got to go at the bottom, but we'll go through all that. Alright, I've got you guys propped up on a box. Hopefully you can see. What we first need to do is compress the piston. There's a couple different ways you can do this. One of the most common ways, probably, if I can find the old one, leave your brake pad in there like that, This is the way I like to do it. I just find it to be pretty easy. They have specific machines, little hand vise things that you can do, but if you get it like that and then just twist it, we're all set there. So now you're gonna pop the old one out, and then putting the new one in, super easy. You've got these little prongs that just snap right in like that. And then on this side here, you've got these clips that you'll kind of like pull on, separate, and slide down in. And then there's like little tabs that will fall into place and it's locked in. I sure hope you guys can see this, but right here, it's very important that these both get locked in like that. And then you'll be able to get the rest. Grab your bolts and find the thing there, and down here. These are a 10 millimeter, so go ahead and you'll want to torque these down to the right torque, which is however I feel it feels. I don't know the torque spec for this, and if I was doing some off-road wheeling, I would probably pay more attention to it, but I am going to my normal torque spec, which is hand torqued to a what I feel an appropriate torque. So don't do as I do, do as I say. Find the torque spec for that. I'm not sure what it is, and my phone keeps dinging, so I apologize for that. But that is it, guys. We have the brake caliper back on. This is how it should look. You should have these two prongs resting on this, and then under here, these are caught in the channel, and that is it. These are torqued down. Everything with this is all good. It is literally time to put that 36-inch tire up on this and call it a day. Except we're not going to call it a day. I've got to do an oil change real quick on this beast. But then once we do that, then we'll call it a day. Hope this was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And also, don't forget to share the video. If you know someone who might find this channel interesting, go ahead and share it, please. I would appreciate that. I will catch you guys. Keep grinding. Peace.